One of Nigeria's oldest banks, Nigeria's oldest commercial bank, FBN Holdings, has its share price exceeded the 1 trillion market value threshold on Wednesday. This comes after the share price soared this week with back-to-back increases of over 10%. FBN Holdings has formally joined the suits all stocks worth over 1 trillion market capitalization after reaching the 1 trillion naira market value. Joining me now to discuss this further is Samson Owolabi. He's an associate research and portfolio management at Zedcrest Wealth. Good afternoon. It's great to have you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
The sound of 1 trillion naira is music to my ears. Yes, FBN Holdings is the parent company of First Bank, and First Bank is Nigeria's oldest commercial bank, by the way. But FBN Holdings, what do you make of this 1 trillion naira milestone?
Well, for me, I think it's a very good news for them, and it's also like a positive moment for the company. And one of the factors that I'm going to link to this is based on the fact that, when you look at this year, we've seen increased participation of domestic players and institutional players in the Nigerian market, equities market rather. So that particular factor has been a driver for these improvements in their share price and also their market cap. And also when you look at the fact that recently they declared that they are going to be having a rights issue, so this particular news is driving investor sentiment towards the company's share price. And also when you look at the fact that, there's been a lot of power sources in the past for the highest shareholder for FBNH. So all these factors are linked to what we are seeing currently right now. However, there's space to boost for any banking ticker for now, given the fact that, we've seen a lot of pro-market policies influence their activities in the market. So it's something that we are looking at, that these are the major drivers for the movement that we've been seeing over time. And it's also something that we believe that is still going to drive that rally in the market.
Very interesting when you look at this. Looking at the trillion naira club, do you see any additions before we wrap up the year with the way the shares, GSK, others, been popping up? But some of these folks are already in that category, by the way. So who else do you think would make that club before we say Happy New Year?
Well, it's quite tricky to mention a particular stock. But what I believe is, I think on some banking tickers are still going to
Is it? You not seen anybody coming join that club outside the banking stocks?
No, well,
why do you think it's easy for the banks to make 1 trillion?
It's liquidity.
They have our money.
No, that's a factor. But also when you look at it, liquidity is a major factor.
Look at everybody's money.
Yeah.
So everybody's money is a bank's money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure. But liquidity is the major factor. When you look at it, you realize that when you look at the
as a listed bank.
As a listed bank, banks and banking tickers, they are very easily traded in the stock market. So it gives this kind of a concentration to that place. And also when you see FPIs also come into the market, they usually target the banking tickers.
Everybody's got a bank in his portfolio. What do you do without it? What can we do without banks in our lives?
Well, we can't. Really
Interesting.
They are very, very core to
so you're creating an asset like at Zedcrest Wealth. I'm sure every of your fund has a bank.
Yes, yes, we do. We have at least they constitute a major chunk of our stocks in our portfolio, and we tend to play around them a lot, and it gives as I've said before, that liquidity, it gives investors this the freedom and the easy entry and exit.
Yeah.
So that's
3+3. I can do it between Monday and Friday, and I can re-enter by at the end of within the same week.
Yeah, sure.
Interesting. You talked about FBN Holdings planning a rights issue. How much more about this rights issue do we know? That's asking existing shareholders to bring additional funds. That's what the bank is planning.
Yes.
Do we have any further details at this moment?
No, at this moment, no. We are still keeping
what the size will be like and what the price will be like.
No,
it's trading close to 25 already.
Yeah, it's close at 26.5 as of today. It was even a drop. It was around 27, 28.
Yeah, because the market generally was soft a little bit today. I guess folks were beginning to pull some profit close to Christmas. And I think that was we're seeing.
Well, we are still seeing the Santa rally in the market.
Yes.
We just started the Santa rally. We're still going to see more of it in the market. So one thing about it is that, when people tend to see a lot of buying interest in that stock, and when the share price increase significantly, a lot of investors will want to take profits. For investors that are willing to they just want to play shots in the market, get an increase in share price, they get their money. You just want to sell off their shares and then go back to the market again when the prices have dropped significantly. So those are the interplays we are seeing right now. But that Santa rally is still something that we're still going to see.
I love that so much. 40% or so in naira terms so far this year. but it's different in dollar story if I convert that.
Well, significantly, it's very different. And it's a painful situation because when you look at it, it's something that is affecting the economy as a whole, especially the Naira devaluation. When you look at the gains that we've seen and the NGX was around like 40%, as you said. But by the time you now convert it to dollars, you just realize that we are down again. And this, we are not even like...
This is a Naira economy. Keep it in Naira. I'm on the side of the Naira. I'm on the side of the Naira.
Sure, we know the NGX is like in...
I'm on the side of the Naira. But again, you have investors looking outside. But if you are doing 40.11% as of yesterday on the NGX and you're a portfolio manager, fund managers in Nigeria, you are in the money if you look at inflation.
Yes, you're in the money, but if you're a foreign player, which is one of the reasons why we've seen a lot of foreign players not like coming to the Nigerian market, because when they come into the Nigerian market at a particular price, the FX volatility is a major concern for them. Because by the time that devaluation comes in, the money, the conversion, imagine someone coming into the market at a particular rate and then maybe at 400 plus, and then you want to exit the market, it's around like 900. You've already made a lot of loss, even when you made a significant...
You're a portfolio manager, my brother. And I'm sure you know that foreign investors want to come in when the dollar is cheap, or when the currency is cheap locally. So they buy locally very cheap. And they bring in a very little amount of dollar, and they cut quite a chunk of the market. But when they want to go out, they want a higher end.
Yeah, well, they won't.
Well, that's what investment is.
But one thing you have to look at also is that the ease of repatriation of funds is a major factor they tend to look at, which is why you see most of them, they tend to look at stocks like, Airtel and Seplat that are dual listed, tend to like play in that part because of the ease of, repatriation of funds. So that's
again, these two companies you mentioned, Seplat and Airtel, tend to pay a dividend in pound sterling or so currency. So you could just take your profit, or sorry, your dividend in foreign currency and just help you manage that. But if you look at this exit of Procter and Gamble, are you folks digesting this news in the market? You've seen a similar news from PZ Cuisines, isn't it?
Yes.
Exiting some office brands in Nigeria. We've seen Diageo with Guinness talking about whether they're going to take off one or two of their products as well and all that. So are you guys getting worried about this? Are investors asking you why?
Yes,
if yes, what's your answer? What do you tell them?
Well, when I just tell them the major factor that I just look at is I'll just let them understand that, it depends on where you're playing at in the market, in particular, and the kind of product that some companies are, they are selling, because, some products have this kind of like high level of competition in that space. So it tends to like give, they don't really have that ability to play with the price. And if they don't have the ability to play with the price or shift the burden to the final consumer, the production cost, it tends to like affect their profit line and their books. So this is one of the major factors we tend to tell investors to look at whenever they want to come into the market. However, for P&G, it's just is giving this is sending this negative sentiment into the market, because when you look at they've been in this country for a very long time. GSK has been in this country for like 51 years before they decided to like exit. So it's giving investors that is Nigeria really a place that they want to like have this kind of investment in to start a particular company in. However, it still boils down to the fact that the kind of products that they're selling, the kind of marketplace that they're playing at, when you do a SWOT analysis of it, you want to look at the fact that, okay, what I'm selling, is there high competition? Do I have the power to affect my prices or shift the final
that's what I'm looking at. Competition. Do you think some of the products they listed, like bathing soaps and dishwashing soaps, do you think when you go to a store these days, you see quite a range of products? So do you think some Nigerian companies, SMEs or so, are hitting that market, and P&G is finding difficult to compete?
Yes, because when you look at the product line of P&G, they have this kind of, let's say, market niche in which they want their products to be differentiated, and they have a market niche that they tend to look at. But, by the time you look at the economy and the cost of living of people tend to like, switch products when there's high cost of living.
Yeah, because if the soap washes the plates the way it does, so why do I need to pay more for P&G, for example, and the others?
They tend to look at their substitutes, so which is a major
factor. And again, making soap is not rocket science, by the way. Dishwashing soap.
You have a lot of,
Yeah, because you use palm oil and a few things.
Startups that tend to give affordable,
Yes.
Soaps like that.
And I've seen some good branding from local products.
Yes, they have.
So dishwashing soaps. So we could as well. So maybe we are moving some needle the local production end. I think we could do a whole lot more.
Yes, we could do a whole lot more.
But I would want those companies locally to also list on the exchange, by the way.
Yeah,
So we
sure.
got Otsuka Nigeria Nutraceuticals Company breaking new grounds in Ogun State. What do you make of that very quickly?
Well, I think it's a very good one.
Just like Mickey also came listed just a couple of weeks
Mickey
ago.
has done impressively well over
Yeah,
time.
post-listing.
When we post-listing, it started with a share price of 2.9.
Yeah.
And then currently they closed at 13.
Double digits.
Yeah, right now. So that's like a 330 something.
Did you invest in Mickey?
Yeah, I didn't actually. I didn't at that time.
But I'm sure you folks have. I'm sure you folks have. But I was shocked.
As of that time, I was still still graduating. I wasn't really into the core portfolio management. Then, assuming I would have just done something like that.
By now, you bring the money. Serious money.
Serious one. That's the thing. But one thing again is that when you look at their books, they have been impressive. They are more focused on expansion. They took advantage of the post-COVID era when people realized the significance of healthcare industry. So they took advantage of that, and they have been expanding significantly. They have a CAGR from 2018 to 2022, so at around 27%. So that is quite significant. So it's a very good one.
Interesting. Samson Owolabi, thank you so much from Zedcrest. We wish you all the best. Thank you.
Yeah,
Have a great evening.